When my music taste is so all over the place, albeit mostly switching from pop punk to post-hardcore, it's really interesting and very exciting to find a sort of middle ground in alternative metal. Welcome to Ray Reno Does Music, where I'm once again taking a request from one of my favorite people, Deb Mitchell, in the form of the debut album from the Family Ruin called Dearly Departed. I wasn't exactly able to dig up a bunch of information on the band or backstory due to the internet being a general mess for not small but not huge band histories, but I was able to gather that they formed in 2009 and are based out of the UK, actually, again, to the best of my knowledge, signed to Asking Alexandria guitarist Ben Bruce's label KBB Records, which I thought was very interesting first off, because I love Asking Alexandria. I mean, who doesn't? I wasn't entirely too sure what to expect here. With my first glance at the song titles and album art, it gave me a very distinct Gold Tattoos era Farewell My Love feeling, but I've been surprised before, so I met it with optimism. Every track had different ideas in comparable density. Battle for the Sun features prominent pieces of harsher vocals towards the beginning of the second half, devolving into what a lot of people would call the basic metalcore breakdown these days for songs. Thankfully, they don't rely on the verse, chorus, breakdown, chorus formula that just dilutes any shred of talent that a band might have. They actually decided to mix it up quite a few times in this album, which um, kept me strung along throughout the entire thing. Not once throughout this album did I stop and think to myself, I feel like I'm being forced to listen to this purely for a request in a review, which, going back on a lot of releases that have came out since the beginning of 2018, like Of Mice and Men's Defy, don't worry, I'll get to that very soon, everybody. I actually felt almost encouraged by the music to keep listening and see what they would do next. I was very interested to see what the next idea was, and I was, once again, not ever predicting myself to be bored. This album is an absolute godsend, by the way, because it comes packed with 14 tracks, which kind of gives you the idea that at one point the tempo is going to slow down, and that's going to feel very forced. That's almost unavoidable. But once again, the Family Ruin very much surprised me here with the Haunting, a song, my weird accent came out there for a sec, that it does follow that sort of idea just a bit, but it's minimalistic in all the best ways. The piano here is used to near perfection, and it builds anticipation and tension without having to break into eclectic tones, which is a very tricky thing to pull off, especially when you're doing a piano piece, just because piano pieces are very hard to pull off in general. But the key vibrations here are just wow. Johnny Metal, the lead vocalist, I believe. I don't know if they've had more than one lead vocalist. My throat's giving me issues here. Again, it was very hard to find complete band histories here, but he was able to belt out lyrics with a, at times, very raspy delivery, and it was very reminiscent of bands such as, classic eras of Fall Out Boy, or more of the rougher cuts from Panic at the Disco, which is a very weird comparison to draw since those are pop punk and pop rock acts, and this is more of the, again, alternative metal styling. But you do get those comparisons, at least I did, going throughout here. Consistency, I've been wanting to mention time and time again in my reviews as a sort of stopping slash vocal point for partway of the review, so you have a common thing throughout every single video. And while it's not exactly on par with the absolute beauty of consistency and everything that you see in Fall Out Boy Infinity on High, it's very well done, but I don't know, it's also not notable enough to make a comparison to other metal albums that, I don't know, it's a very tough thing to put out there. But on the bright side, this band doesn't try to grasp at too many straws and be like, oh, we gotta go super fast, but then stop for just a second, make it really irregular, like post-hardcore, and then pick it back up. They're not jumping from genre to genre. They're staying very core and true to the roots of the album here, and they're not trying to force any ingredients into this, I guess you could say, mixture that would make it seem like it's just a little too crazy. If you want a great example of what the sound is here, you can get a bit of an idea when I say that it feels like early Escape the Fate instrumentalism, such as This Is War era, combined with just a little bit of the burning Ice Nine Kills and vocalism. It's a very interesting mix that even saying it out loud still makes me think that doesn't really make sense, but it honestly kinda does. It kinda really makes you stop and think, wow, that doesn't sound good on paper, but this is the type of album where you get into it and you listen to it and you realize that that's actually a very good combination to think about. I try not to criticize or pick out a certain instrument or band member too much in my reviews, but I felt like the bass was almost non-existent in a lot of this album. Like, I could pick up hints and bits and pieces of it during Where We Fall and Let's Go, but otherwise, I couldn't really hear it at all, and that really disappoints me here. The other instruments and members pick up the pace enough to keep everything leveled, but I can't help but just point that out. The Family Ruin is a band that I really wish had more music for me to check out. Not just review, but actually check out and listen to, because there's a lot of potential here. They could very well reach the levels of popularity that Escape the Fate or Avatar or even Of Mice and Men have, given enough time. But as for now, they only really have this debut LP. I can sit here and praise this constantly, but in the end, much like the review I've done that either is going up soon or after my Devastate review for Art of the Enemy, it very much is a case of the band is still very early into their career for the most part, so there's not a whole bunch of music there. Here's hoping they produce another album soon, but to cap off this video and this review, Family Ruin, Dearly Departed, is getting a 7.6 out of 10. And with that, I gotta say, this is the end of the video. What did you guys think? Did you enjoy the review? Is there anything that you disagree with? Do you wish I would stop covering small bands and go for mainstream bands? Surprise, it's not gonna happen. I do what I want. But don't forget to like, dislike, subscribe, unsubscribe, share it, tweet it, Instagram it, tout it, and be safe, everyone. See you in the next video.